There are moments in life that arrive quietly, but leave a deep mark on the heart. It may happen late at night when the world becomes silent and your thoughts begin replaying memories. You remember conversations, you remember promises, you remember the way someone once spoke to you with warmth and sincerity, and then something begins to settle in your chest. A realization you did not want to accept before. The person you trusted may not have valued you the way you valued them. At first, the mind resists this thought. You tell yourself there must be a misunderstanding. You try to defend them in your own mind. You replay moments where they seemed kind, hoping those memories will prove your doubts wrong. But slowly, the truth becomes clearer. You start noticing something you ignored before. The effort was never equal. When you showed up for them, they were often absent for you. When you listened to their struggles, they rarely listened to yours. When you protected their trust, they handled your heart carelessly. And when that realization finally reaches the heart, it hurts in a way that is difficult to describe, because betrayal from strangers does not shake you deeply. But betrayal from someone you trusted can make you question your judgment, your kindness, even your worth. Yet there is something important you must understand in this moment. Allah sees every intention inside every heart, even the intentions that people hide from you, even the thoughts that never become words. And sometimes Allah allows your heart to discover a painful truth, not to break you, but to wake you, because a heart that never experiences disappointment may continue trusting the wrong people for too long. And sometimes the first step toward wisdom begins with a painful realization that Allah allowed you to see. Why Allah sometimes lets the wrong people come close to your heart. When someone hurts you deeply, a question almost always appears inside the mind. It may come quietly, sometimes late at night, when everything around you becomes silent. You ask yourself something many believers have asked before you. Why did Allah allow this person into my life? Why did my heart trust them? Why did I care so much about someone who eventually hurt me? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of a heart trying to understand the wisdom behind its pain. Because when something hurts deeply, the soul naturally searches for meaning. But there is a truth that many people only understand later in life. Not every person who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people enter your life to reveal something. Some people enter your life to teach your heart a lesson that comfort could never teach. If every person you met treated you perfectly, your heart would never learn how to recognize deception. You would trust easily. You would give your loyalty without caution. You would assume every smile is sincere. Every promise is honest. Every friendship is genuine. But life does not work that way. Allah created this world as a place of tests. And one of the tests of life is learning how to understand people. Sometimes Allah allows the wrong people to come close to you, so your heart can develop awareness. So your heart can learn the difference between someone who values you and someone who only benefits from you. Without those painful experiences, many people would spend years trusting the wrong individuals. Years investing their heart in relationships that slowly drain their peace. But when the wrong person eventually reveals their true character, something changes inside you. Your heart becomes more alert. You begin noticing small behaviors you once ignored. You begin recognizing patterns in people's actions. You become slower to trust empty words, and wiser about where you give your loyalty. The painful people who once confused you become the experiences that sharpen your vision. And although the moment may feel unfair, Allah's wisdom is working in ways you cannot see yet. Because sometimes the wrong people enter your life not to stay, but to teach your heart how to recognize the right ones. The moment Allah exposes the true intentions people tried to hide, one of the most difficult realities in life is understanding that not everyone around you is what they appear to be. Some people speak beautifully, Some people smile warmly. Some people appear supportive. They say the right things. They act kind when others are watching. They know how to present themselves in a way that earns trust. And because human beings can only see what is visible, we often believe what we see. We believe the words. We believe the gestures. We believe the kindness we experience in the moment. But Allah sees something far deeper than appearances. Allah sees what is hidden inside every heart. He sees intentions that never reach the tongue. He sees motives that remain invisible to everyone else. And sometimes, Allah allows a moment in life where the truth is finally revealed. Often that moment comes through pain, a betrayal, a lie, a sudden change in someone's behavior. The person who once seemed loyal suddenly becomes distant. The person who once spoke kindly suddenly speaks harshly. The person who once promised support suddenly disappears when you need them most. And in that moment, the heart feels shocked because the person you believed you knew suddenly looks different. But there is a deeper reality hidden inside that painful moment. That moment is clarity. Allah has allowed you to see something you could not see before. The mask has been removed. The illusion has disappeared. And although the truth hurts, it also protects you. Imagine if that person's true intentions had remained hidden for many more years. Imagine if you had built deeper trust with someone whose loyalty was temporary. Imagine if you had shaped important parts of your life around someone who never truly cared about your well-being. Sometimes what feels like betrayal is actually Allah removing a mask before greater damage can happen. Sometimes Allah exposes someone's true character early, so your future can remain protected. And although the truth may arrive through pain, it also brings something powerful with it: clarity. Because once the heart sees the truth, it can finally move forward with wisdom. When betrayal becomes the wake-up call your heart needed. There are moments in life when the heart becomes comfortable in ways we do not even notice. You trust someone completely. You believe their words without hesitation. You assume their presence in your life will always remain the same. And slowly, without realizing it, your emotional peace begins attaching itself to that person. Their approval begins to matter. Their presence begins to feel necessary. Their absence begins to affect your mood. This is something many people experience without recognizing it. Because the human heart naturally seeks connection. It naturally wants loyalty, understanding, companionship. But sometimes the heart becomes so comfortable with someone that it stops observing their character carefully. You stop questioning certain behaviors. You excuse certain attitudes. You overlook certain patterns that should have concerned you. And then one day, something happens. A moment that shakes the entire image you once had of that person. Perhaps they betray your trust. Perhaps they speak about you behind your back. Perhaps they disappear when you needed them most. Perhaps they reveal a side of themselves you never expected to see. And when that moment arrives, the heart feels stunned because the person you trusted no longer looks the same. But hidden inside that painful shock is something many believers only understand later. That moment becomes a wake-up call, a moment where the heart begins looking at people differently. You begin noticing things you once ignored. You begin paying attention to actions instead of only words. You begin recognizing that true loyalty reveals itself during difficult moments, not comfortable ones. Sometimes betrayal awakens a deeper awareness inside the heart. It teaches you to value character more than charm. It teaches you to observe consistency more than promises. And although the experience feels painful, it becomes one of the moments that shapes your wisdom. Because a heart that has never been shaken may remain naive for too long. But a heart that has faced betrayal begins learning how to see people more clearly, not with suspicion, but with wisdom. How Allah uses painful people to teach you who deserves your trust. Trust is one of the most delicate and powerful things the human heart can give. When you trust someone, you are not only believing their words, You are allowing them to see parts of your life that others cannot see. Your struggles, your fears, your dreams, your private thoughts. Trust opens the door to your inner world, and that is why the breaking of trust feels so heavy, because it feels like someone stepped into a sacred space of your heart and treated it carelessly. But there is something many people do not realize until later in life. Sometimes the painful people you encounter become the teachers that help you understand the true value of trust. Because when trust has never been broken, it is easy to give it freely. You assume everyone deserves it. You believe every kind word. You assume every friendship is sincere. But painful experiences begin teaching the heart something deeper. They teach you how to observe actions. They teach you how to notice patterns. They teach you how to recognize when someone's behavior does not match their words. These lessons are uncomfortable, but they sharpen your awareness. After experiencing betrayal, the heart becomes more thoughtful about where it places its trust. You begin recognizing the quiet people who remain consistent. You begin appreciating those who show loyalty not through promises, but through actions. You begin valuing the people who stay present during difficult moments, not only during easy ones. Without painful experiences, many people would never learn how precious sincere relationships truly are. They might spend years giving their loyalty to people who never valued it. But when Allah allows painful people to pass through your life, they leave behind something important: wisdom. They teach your heart how to recognize sincerity more clearly. And because of those lessons, when the right people eventually enter your life, you will understand their value far more deeply. The day you realize Allah removed them to protect your future. When someone leaves your life, especially someone you once trusted deeply, the first feeling that usually appears is loss. Your mind begins replaying memories, the good conversations, the moments of laughter, the times when their presence felt comforting. And because the human heart tends to remember the good moments first, you may begin questioning what happened. You wonder if things could have been different. You wonder if the relationship could have been repaired. You wonder if perhaps you lost something valuable. But time has a strange way of revealing truths the heart cannot see in the moment. Months later, sometimes years later, many believers begin noticing something surprising. The person who once felt so important in your life may not have been guiding your life in the right direction. Their influence may have slowly affected your priorities. Their habits may have influenced your habits. Their way of thinking may have quietly shaped your own thinking. Sometimes the people we feel closest to are also the ones quietly pulling us toward paths that are not healthy for our hearts. But in the moment, we cannot see it. Our emotions are too attached. Our memories are too strong. So Allah, in His wisdom, sometimes removes people from your life before you travel too far down a road that would harm you. At first, the heart only sees separation, but later, the heart begins seeing protection. You begin noticing that your peace returned after they left. Your clarity improved. Your focus on your own life became stronger. And slowly, the moment that once felt like loss begins revealing a deeper meaning. Allah was protecting your future in a way you could not yet understand. Sometimes Allah removes people not because you failed, but because He sees a future for you that cannot grow while they remain in your life. Why some people are only meant to pass through your life. One of the most difficult lessons the human heart must learn is accepting that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people stay in your life for many years. They walk beside you through different stages of your journey. They grow with you. They witness your struggles and your successes. But other people enter your life only for a short chapter. Their presence may feel meaningful in the moment. You may share conversations, experiences, memories. But slowly, life begins shifting. Paths begin changing. The closeness you once felt begins fading. And sometimes you cannot even identify the exact moment when the distance started. At first, the heart struggles with this reality. You may feel confused. You may feel disappointed, because the human heart naturally hopes that every meaningful connection will remain forever. But life does not move in that way. People change. Circumstances change. Priorities change. And sometimes the role someone was meant to play in your life simply reaches its natural end. This does not always mean the person was bad. It does not always mean the relationship was a mistake. Sometimes their role was simply temporary. Perhaps they were meant to teach you something. Perhaps they were meant to help you through a specific moment in your life. Perhaps they were meant to reveal something about yourself that you had not yet understood. But once that lesson is complete, their presence slowly fades. Understanding this truth allows the heart to release certain attachments more peacefully, because not every goodbye is a failure. Sometimes it is simply the closing of a chapter Allah intended to end. And when one chapter closes, Allah is often preparing another chapter you cannot yet see. When Allah uses pain to pull your heart closer to Him, there is a moment many believers experience after being deeply hurt by someone. At first, the pain feels overwhelming. Your heart keeps returning to the same memories, the same conversations, the same moments where things changed. You ask yourself questions again and again. Why did this happen? Why did Allah allow this person to hurt me? Why did my heart trust them so much? But slowly, something begins changing inside you. At first, the change is small, almost unnoticeable. You begin speaking to Allah more, not with perfect words, not with long speeches, but with honest feelings. Late at night, when the world becomes quiet, you find yourself making dua. Sometimes you do not even know what to say. You simply ask Allah to give your heart peace. You ask Him to remove the heaviness you feel. You ask Him to guide you toward what is good for you. And in those quiet moments, something powerful begins happening. Your heart begins turning toward Allah more than it ever did before. Because when people hurt you, you begin realizing something important. Human beings are limited. They make promises they cannot keep. They make mistakes. They misunderstand you. They fail you. But Allah does not. Allah understands every hidden struggle inside your heart. He sees the tears that never fall in front of anyone. He hears the prayers you whisper when no one else is listening. He knows the pain you carry, even when you try to appear strong. And sometimes, Allah allows painful experiences to enter your life because those moments pull your heart closer to Him. Moments of comfort can make people forget their dependence on Allah, but moments of pain often awaken the soul. They remind you that true security does not come from people. It comes from Allah. And when your heart begins relying on Allah more than it relies on people, something beautiful happens. Disappointment loses its power, because even when people fail you, you know Allah never will. And sometimes the people who hurt you become the very reason your relationship with Allah becomes stronger than it has ever been. What once felt like a wound becomes the doorway to a deeper faith, a deeper trust, and a heart that finds its peace in the one who never betrays it.